What is going on, YouTube? I am Germ here. Today has been an absolutely awesome day as a League of Legends fan. Obviously, any day that a new international event, or really any new event starts, whether it be Spring Split, Summer Split, MSI, Worlds, it's always a great day. And now if you're an NA fan, maybe stuff didn't start exactly how you would have wanted, but Cloud9 still has hopefully, some opportunities to rebound. Mad Lions with a big win over PSG Town. Lots of crazy things going on. But in the midst of all the madness, Wooloo, he's always there for us. He's always got the bombs. He tweeted out 5 minutes, and this was kind of in the middle of everything. Now, I don't know exactly why he tweets out a lot of cryptic stuff like this. I don't know why. If there was an announcement to make in 5 minutes, the announcement couldn't be made at the time. I don't know if he just used it to get more Twitter engagement or exactly what happens. Maybe he just likes messing with people. I don't exactly know. But the news coming out today was a very, very big story. This is regarding Fnatic, the top lane situation that has been ongoing. And it honestly is the first big domino to fall in this offseason and can have a big ripple effect all over different League of Legends leagues. And that's what we're going to be talking about in today's video. A lot of stuff to talk about. But before we get into that, I just want to mention real quick, if you guys have not already, please take a second, smash that like button. It really, really, really helps me out with the YouTube algorithm. The videos with more likes are going to get out to more people. They're going to be seen by more people. They're going to perform better for me and my channel. So it's a great, easy way to help support me and my content if you're interested in doing that. Also, subscribe to stay up to date on all my latest content so you guys don't miss out on anything we've got going on in the near future. Tons of awesome videos coming your way. There's going to be tons more stories just like this one. With that being said, let's get right into this. So, he tweeted out 5 minutes, and then exactly 5 minutes later, he dropped the bomb on us. He said, rumor, I gotta sneeze real quick. Oh, excuse me. He said, rumor, according to several sources, Kcorp and Fnatic have come to an agreement. Something we've been talking about a lot over the last, it's been like a week, I think, at this point, is some of the negotiations going on between Fnatic and potentially some other top laners out there. And Wooloo tweeted out that Adam, this is Kcorp's top laner, KC Adam, is expected to be Fnatic's new top laner for the LEC Summer Split. Now, what I don't understand exactly what is going on here, the wording is that Adam is expected to be Fnatic's new top laner. That makes it sound like, to me, Wooloo doesn't say anything about a 6-man roster here. He says Adam is expected to be Fnatic's new top laner. Now, we've heard previously that they could go with the 6-man roster. They could sell off Bwipo. They could just bench Bwipo. What's going to happen with Bwipo? He's going to play nowhere. He's going to play on Fnatic Rising. What's going on? Or are they still going to do that 6-man type of roster? Or is Bwipo going to be sold off now and potentially be playing on another team in the Summer Split? That is a little bit more difficult to do. Not many teams have openings right now. It makes much more sense for players to kind of change teams in the next offseason. But for Fnatic, when we're hearing about what the buyout was reportedly for a lot of these Kcorp players, and they're a team that maybe is having some financial issues, maybe struggling a little bit, being able to get some money for a guy like Hylissang or Bwipo or Selfmade or whatever, if they're going to leave in the offseason anyway, because all three of those guys, again, they have those expiring contracts, could make a lot of sense if you do want to go out and get a guy like this. What Wooloo does go on to say here is that this does not mean that the initial price was accepted. It was very possibly that the price was lowered down. If you guys don't know what he's talking about there, we can go look at the tweets from yesterday, I do believe, or maybe it was a couple days ago. The rumor was that Esports Maniacos show yesterday that an ERL team is asking more than 500,000. Again, I don't know if that's euros or dollars. I would assume it's euros. So that means even more dollars, like closer to price 600,000, to sell one of its players. Rumor says that this team is Kcorp, as Fnatic would be interested in the top laner Adam. Vitality was also interested, but the price is very, very high. And then Wooloo followed up a little bit later and said the rumored number was to be 600,000. Again, if that is euros, that's pushing $700,000, or between $600,000 and $700,000, if not even more. I'm not exactly sure what the exchange rate is and conversion rate. I just know that dollars is always going to be a little bit more than euros. So that's pretty crazy. Again, Fnatic, for an organization that is reportedly having some financial issues, reportedly having to just struggle kind of with what exactly to do for the future, to be able to do some kind of crazy buyout like that, I don't know if that would make a ton of sense, especially for a guy who's very, very unproven. Yes, he's coming off a great split for Kcorp. He's coming off a awesome run in European Masters. They got the title, but he did show weaknesses. It's not like he was just absolutely dominant. It's not like he was just absolutely stomping on people. And it's not like he's absolutely ready to just walk into an LEC slot right away and start producing. He's probably going to be a guy that might struggle for a split or two, or take some time to get some footing underneath him. Even though a lot of people do believe he has the talent, the potential, everything to develop into a very, very solid, if not great, LEC top laner in the future, that's a lot of money to justify the kind of the risk that's involved as well, because you still don't know if these guys are going to pan out. Also, again, I've talked about this previously, how in the past, top lane's pretty weak in Europe historically. They don't have a ton of great top laners floating around. So getting your hands on who you believe, which I assume Fnatic does believe that he's going to be one of the better top laners, especially if they're spending a lot of this money, that's going to come with a price. There's a ton of mid lane talent floating around in Europe. There's a ton of AD carry talent floating around in Europe. Not as many top laners. The market there is going to be a little bit pricier for maybe not as surefire things, because if you can get a big time top laner, if you can get a surefire thing, you can make a ton of money and you can have a huge impact on your team and on the league there. But again, as Wooloo says, he said this doesn't mean the price was initially accepted. It was possibly lower down. He doesn't know for sure, though. That's pretty much him just kind of speculating everything. Also, this whole thing is still just a rumor. This is not confirmed at all. The free agency, I believe, does not begin for 18 more days. I believe it begins on May 24th, so we will have to wait for that time for anything to be official. But it does seem like Fnatic has at least agreed in principle, in like a verbal agreement in place with Adam from Kcorp. And what this means is a couple different things. Again, what does that mean for the future of Whippo? We don't know exactly for sure what's going to happen there. We're going to have to wait to hear more about that. That is the question everyone's going to be asking. But what this does mean for Kcorp, people have been talking about if Kcorp's going to try and buy the LEC slot of Schalke. Also, if the LEC is going to expand to 12 teams, which we've heard could be coming next season, maybe 2 years from now, but sometime in the near future, if they're going to try and go for one of those slots, which would still be very, very expensive. Or if they're just going to stay together in European Masters, where they're for sure making a solid amount of money. They have a huge, insane fan base. They are really, rallying a ton of people behind them. Their European Master Games had insane viewership. So there was talk about potentially trying to make a move to the LEC. There was also just potential talk about this whole team staying together and potentially running it back one more year in European Masters, trying to win another title, trying to raise up their stakes even more, and then maybe selling off players before the next season, where you're going to have more potential suitors, more people looking for a top laner, more people looking for players, and try to make as much money as you can. However, obviously that doesn't seem to be happening anymore, so maybe that means we've heard that Kcorp's probably out of the running for the Schalke slot, so it probably does mean that's dead. But also, obviously, if they're selling off Adam, they're not going to be running the same roster back for next year. So now, does this mean that they're going to start selling off some more players? Is this the first big domino in the offseason to fall? Usually, you're waiting for one guy to fall, and then once you know what's happening with him, then it starts to make the decisions a little bit easier for other teams, because now there's less options available. Now, they don't have to worry about who's getting Adam or how much money. Now it's on to plan B, plan C for a lot of these teams. Like, when Wooloo said that Vitality was potentially interested in. Well, now Vitality's going to have to go to another top lane option if they do decide to keep looking for another top laner. They're going to have to run back the same roster. It does start to get a little bit interesting. But obviously, Kcorp, there was a decision to be made whether to hold on to people, whether to hold out for more money, exactly what's going on. But if people are throwing around numbers like 500, 600,000, that's going to be pretty hard to pass up. And again, we don't know exactly what they agreed on, but if those numbers are ballpark or rough estimates or even close, then Kcorp's making a huge come up, because this is a team that obviously plays in regional leagues, plays in European Masters. They're not getting a lot of this LEC, LCS money and stuff. And if they can be selling off players for prices like that, that's really, really good for them, because that is, more money than some LCS, LEC teams are getting for selling off their players. But yeah, I mean, exciting young talent that people are just really hyped up and excited for, and is actually drawing the interest of multiple teams and stuff. You have a huge bargaining chip there. We've seen what some of these crazy buyouts have been for some of the top name players, but even some of these younger players. Think back to like Vulcan getting the buyout that he did going to Cloud9. Like, you can really get some crazy money being thrown around, and for a team like Kcorp, again, that's not even a major league, that is big time money. But I am curious how Fnatic is getting the money to meet these big buyouts and big contracts, and what their plans are for the future. If they are throwing around big money, I would be leaning towards the fact that they're probably looking to sell off some players, and we don't know exactly what that means. There are some people still talking about maybe the fact that Hillsang won't be coming back, maybe Selfmade, and what's going to happen with Lippo. There is still a lot up in the air, but I will definitely keep you guys up to date on all the latest that we hear. I believe this is all kind of the latest news, rumor, everything that we have right at the moment. We haven't really gotten anything else from Whippo recently. Obviously, I think it's going to be crazy during MSI with a lot of stuff going on, but I am expecting in the days and weeks in between MSI and everything to be getting a lot more stories. As far as the Fnatic situation, I obviously I think in the short term, Adam is probably going to be a downgrade over Bwipo. Bwipo is kind of running it down in this past split, but still he is a great veteran with a ton of carry potential. He at his highs he is very, very great. But obviously, for Fnatic, it's potentially a cheaper solution, potentially a more long-term solution, especially as Bwipo has been saying stuff like, the fact that he maybe doesn't want to re-sign with Fnatic. Maybe somebody else would do better. Maybe he has other options, and maybe he can do other things. Obviously, Fnatic then understands that they need to get the ball rolling a little bit. They need to prepare for what their backup plan is going to be a little bit more, and I definitely understand why Fnatic is doing this. Now, is Adam the exact guy for Fnatic? I don't know, but we're going to find out. We're going to see how well he does, because obviously there's a ton of other names out there. There was SLT for Big, who was very, very rumored to be linked to Fnatic as well. Now that that's not happening, where is SLT going to end up? Is that going to be Vitality? Is that going to be wherever? There is a lot of different stuff going on. There are the names of Plasma being thrown around, maybe him going to Fnatic, Hades maybe going to Fnatic as well. All these different crazy rumors and everything. And again, if anything starts to become more official, if anything starts to become more solid, more solidified, I will definitely be keeping you guys up to date on all of that stuff that we hear. But the big news today, Kcorp Adam looks like he is in agreement to become the new top laner for Fnatic. A very, very exciting pickup. And one that people will maybe be a little bit upset with, maybe disagree with, but I think a lot of people will be excited about it as well. But that is pretty much it for this video today, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for watching. I'd really appreciate if you did drop a like on this video. Really helps out the YouTube algorithm. Leave a comment down below. What do you think about Fnatic Adam? You think it's a good pickup, bad pickup? Should they go with somebody else? I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions. Subscribe to stay up to date on all my latest content. Hopefully catch you guys in the next one. But until then, peace!